welcome, everyone to season 2, episode 8 of What We Watch, where week in and week out we dive into a movie and break it down from start to finish. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos, bienvenidos sean todos a la temporada 2, episodio número 8 de What We Watch, donde semana a semana desmenuzamos la película por la cual vamos a hablar. Antes de comenzar, before we get into it, before we get into the intro of the show, I just want to wish y'all a happy new year, guys. I hope everybody had fun. I hope everybody got fucking lit. I hope y'all made peace with yourself over all the fucking dumb shit you did last year. And hope you guys do something better this year. I hope everybody becomes a better person this year. I really need to become a better person this year.
Hopefully.
Um, I don't want to project myself into you guys, but
No, I hope you wouldn't want to project to them.
Sorry guys, just because no me salía que ya estamos en live. I'm like, dude, I just did a badass intro y no salió en vivo a la verga.
Que la chinga.
No, sí, ya estamos. ¿En qué estaba, güey? Sí. I just hope you guys have an awesome beginning of the new year. I hope you guys have goals for each other or for yourselves, and I hope you guys actually get there, because it sucks once you don't get to a goal, but there's always next year, right?
Yes.
Now, with that being said, I wish I could tell you or describe in a couple of words the movie we will be discussing, but I'll just give you the name of this sad, horrific, yet beautiful, dark fairy tale called El laberinto del fauno, or Pan's Labyrinth. I am also very excited to welcome the year with you all and with my co-host, man, guys. The guy that you have been waiting for, Lorenzo. How are you, man? How was your new year?
Doing great. Thank you very much, guys. Once again, I would like to wish you guys a happy new year. It's great to be back, man. We definitely got turned up.
I would fucking hope so.
Yeah, especially since I had the following day, or the first, I had it off, so I had enough time to recover before I went back to work. But yes, guys, we are back. We are ready to go ahead and start this episode for you guys. But yeah, man, one of my favorite movies, if not the favorite movie.
One of your favorite movies, if not,
Oh yeah,
if not the favorite.
Yeah, the
You're
favorite.
sure about this?
I said if not.
Yeah, that's right. But at least top 3, top 5.
Yeah, I want to say at least top 5.
So
Maybe even
there's
top
4 other movies
Mhm.
that could be better than this one.
Yeah.
Like not today, but
Yeah. Mhm.
in general,
Well,
for your person, your personal.
Yeah, my person.
Yeah.
Like for me.
Yeah. So it's top 5 for sure
Oh yeah.
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No. The reason why I'm asking you is because, so I only saw it once, right?
Okay.
Because I just wanted that to be my takeaway from the movie.
Mhm.
Okay. So I did not refresh anything that happened in the movie, and I waited to watch it Saturday.
Okay.
Okay, so I watched it Saturday just because I knew that I was gonna be okay because I didn't fucking drink Friday, so I knew I was gonna be okay Saturday. I watched it Saturday, and boy oh boy, I had a fucking thought about, like, I thought about this movie in every single particular way that I could fucking possibly think of. Spoilers alert from right now, like from the beginning. I could care less about the beginning of the fucking movie. Okay?
Okay.
Like, I could care less about the middle of the fucking movie. The ending of the fucking movie is where I was like, nobody should watch this fucking movie. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very good movie. Okay? This is me talking, okay? We haven't even got into the plot. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Dude, this girl was looking for her happiness, and her happiness was suicide.
Yeah.
No. There's no she. There's no.
She wasn't aware of it though.
It doesn't matter. Who makes a movie where a kid wants to commit suicide?
This is Guillermo del Toro we're talking
I
about.
don't not care, Lorenzo. Okay? Like, the girl, the only way the girl was gonna be happy was going back to her father that was dead.
Yeah.
So, in order for her to get there, was to commit suicide. Think about that. Think about the larger picture of this movie. The larger picture of this movie is you miss somebody who's dead, kill yourself. like,
Yeah.
like
It's very twisted, I know.
I do not. Again, I am not hating on the movie. Okay, I am not hating on the script. I am not hating the story. I'm not even hating on the story. The moral of the story is you miss someone and if they're dead, be dead too. Like that to me was like, who the fuck ever said this was a movie you should watch? Like I think very like I don't think people should watch this whenever they're happy. I don't think people should watch this whenever they're sad. Like I don't think this people should watch whenever they're in loss.
Yeah.
What happened?
No.
Oh, like I don't think people like whenever they're grieving or whatever. There is no good time to watch this movie. Like this is not a movie that you're like, hey, ¿quieres ver una película? Sí, vamos a ver esta pinche película, mamalona. No hay ningún momento donde el laberinto del fauno, güey, se la puede recomendar a alguien y decirle, vela, güey. Like, te va a hacer sentir bien. No te va a hacer sentir nada bien.
Maldito, el maldito está de vuelta en contra de todos los hijos puta que me cierraron las puertas.
OG Barber to you as well.
Happy New Year, OG.
Mark, we are talking about Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth, Mark? If not, don't fucking watch it. Like, if you're sad, do not fucking watch this movie. If you're going through shit, do not fucking watch this movie. If you're happy, don't. You have to be at a neutral state of mind.
See, boom, great
No.
movie.
I'm not saying it's not a great movie. Like, that's the thing. Like, I didn't. I. There's no words to put how good this movie is. Without talking about the girl wanting to commit suicide,
Yeah.
unwillingly or unknowingly, only knowing that her happiness was only gonna be reached through death.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's just
Yeah, we
okay,
fucking
so-
skipped the whole fucking
yeah,
movie.
Yeah, no, we skipped the whole movie. So a fun fact. When it premiered,
Fun
Guillermo-
fact?
Yeah.
I
fun
hope
fact.
this is fucking fun, but
Yeah, I know that's exactly what I was trying to tell him, Mark. That I don't think that's what she was going for. I'm telling you, it's because you only seen it once. So like you saw like that initial shock, and you're like, what?
no. Okay,
But-
so time out. Let me. Right, yeah, it's because
Okay, yeah.
okay, guys. I only saw it once for the mirror. That like I didn't want to go back through it and fix anything that I missed. Okay, pero al principio during the movie ella sigue repitiendo es que yo era feliz con mi papá. Okay.
Yeah, what child is it?
No, sí, güey. Pero, o vamos a regresarnos con mi papá, o vamos a buscar, o whatever. Like, era siempre la referencia al papá, güey. Pero, si el papá, güey, era el rey de un reino, ¿ok? Y era poderoso, güey, ¿por qué no dejar que la niña sea feliz sin él, güey? Like, ese es mi punto, güey. Este güey, al final de la película dice, por fin vuelves a ser feliz, o por fin vas a volver a ser feliz, o al fin eres feliz, o al fin estamos juntos para ser felices. Eso quiere decir que este güey quería que su hija, güey, le pasara esto.
Que volviera al mundo subterráneo.
Exacto, que cometiera, que se matara, güey. O sea, él quería la muerte de ella como humana para llegar al mundo subterráneo.
Para poder.
Estar juntos. You know how selfish that is, Lorenzo?
Yes, it is. It is very selfish.
This is not
This is a very dark, selfish movie. In every party. Like, on everybody's part. Like, everybody's part. The little girls, el rey del subterráneo, del
no
oh
sé,
yeah,
no sé.
the subterranean world, la mamá, el Capitán Vidal.
Yeah. No.
Todos, güey,
I know the fan was not
Yeah,
dad.
exactly. Yeah, the fauno's not the dad.
Yeah. No, that's for
It's
sure.
him.
I knew that from the
Everybody-
beginning.
Everybody. Like, but I mean, it is what it is, brother. Like, that's it, because it's so not what you're expecting is what really like gravitates me towards it.
So I didn't have no issue with the movie. Okay, let's start off by saying that. Okay? It's just the way they talk about a parent. Oh, we went with How to Train Your Dragon. When the dad comes back from the fucking thing of the fucking the dragons or whatever, they're like, "Oh, good news happened." He's like, "Oh, Hiccup died or Hiccup, whatever." Like talking about Hiccup not being alive anymore, and we're like, "That's a bad parent." Right? We had this discussion that you said, no, that's not a bad parent. Okay, we go to this movie. He is a bad parent.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bad parent. Like, the dad is a bad parent. Like, because he was selfish, but he was so selfish that he wanted her to come back to her happiness when he didn't let her be happy as a human. En este cabrón sí vivió años, embarazó a su esposa, y luego se murió. So, primero se divirtió, güey. Y no dejó que su hija hiciera eso. Dígame. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah, I do. You have to remember that this movie is based in Spain. It's right when the Civil War had ended.
Yeah.
And it's 1944, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I think that's what the year was. So, I mean, just think about back then. I mean, don't put it to today's perspective where, oh, your feelings are hurt. Your feelings are valid. Like,
No. Pero,
like, you know, like he's trying to embrace that culture, that
okay.
that era, that time.
So, sí. Pero yo siempre he dicho, güey. Un Dios o es un Dios. No me importa qué puto Dios. O es todo bueno o es todo poderoso. No pueden ser los dos. Porque si es todo bueno, entonces no debe de haber maldad. Right? Pero si es todo poderoso, entonces no puede ser ninguna de las dos. Güey. Porque si es todo bueno, entonces puede haber... Sorry, I said it backwards. Si es todo bueno, puede haber maldad. Porque no puede controlar a los demás. Él solamente puede controlar a la gente que cree en él o que tiene fe en él. Si es todopoderoso, entonces él está permitiendo que haya gente mala. Entonces, es lo que te digo. Este señor, este Dios, ¿verdad? De esta película, es malo. No es bueno.
No le hagas caso, Guillermo del Toro. No le hagas caso.
No, me vale. No, es como que se me va a hacer caso Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro le va a valer 3 hectáreas de pura verga. Si me gusta la película, no. Es que sí me gusta la película, güey. Yeah. Like, there is no way to describe this movie. Okay, I cannot find words to describe this movie. Like, it would be a lie if I would tell you, like, I didn't like it or there's an issue with this movie other than little things that I think shouldn't have been there, but that's completely different. Pero es eso, güey. Nomás es eso. Like, nomás quería sacarme eso, güey, porque lo he tenido como por 3 días metido en el culo, güey. Sí. Esta película es de suicidio.
Yeah.
Es de suicidarte por amor, güey, a tu familia. O es de suicidar. Like,
pero es que técnicamente no se suicidó.
La mataron.
La mataron.
Pero.
Y cuando le dieron la oportunidad.
No, pero.
We won't get there.
Pero, okay. So, once we get there, güey. Bueno, es que yo tengo algo para decir de eso, güey.
Yeah, no.
Like. Bueno, anyways.
Look,
sorry, guys.
So,
sorry, guys.
So, the fun fact was, when this movie premiered, Guillermo del Toro was actually next to Stephen King, the king of horror, right? When he said that Stephen King quivered or shivered whenever the Pale Man scene came out, and that was like the best moment for Guillermo del Toro. It's
horror,
it's,
not horse.
Yes, not horse. Who said that?
Grims.
King of Horrors. Chihuahua. Otra vez me está. It's not letting me see the chat message, but it's okay. But
De horror, güey.
Yeah, bueno, de horror, para que me entiendas. But yeah, it's freaking. I don't know. I just personally love this movie, and I mean everything that's in it, the monsters, the script. I just thought everything was fucking on point, and especially the gruesome scenes too. Like,
I didn't see, like, okay, so talking about gruesome scenes, güey. Nada, okay, so nada me molestó de la película, güey. Like, que yo dijera así como, that's too much. Like, you know, like,
yeah, it wasn't too gory to the point
to the point that it was
feel
like
some
that
way.
you lost the movie because of the goriness.
Yeah.
Right. Or that you're like, either this movie's gonna be gory or this movie's gonna be like a different type. Like, it's not that genre. I that doesn't bother me, way. Okay, the monsters don't bother me. The CGI of the fairies don't bother me. The truck doesn't bother me because that truck's whack as fuck. Like the story that they involve you with, how it's a fairy tale, because I understood it from the beginning.
Oh, it's
Quick
like
as
an
echo.
Okay, maybe of the.
I don't know what it could be. Hold up.
Do you have maybe some sound on your device?
That sound better? Does that sound better?
Reverb. Bueno. But yeah, this
Testing 1 2 1 2
Testing,
1
testing.
2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
seems like we're gonna have to have Grims on site. Coming in clear, dale.
Ya está.
Appreciate you.
So, los monitos no me molestan. La historia en la que te envolvieron, güey, no me molesta. Like, no me molesta nada de eso, güey. No me molesta en que tienes que estar creyendo que tú estás allí para poder entender lo que está pasando alrededor, güey. Eso no es el pedo. La película no me molesta en sí, güey. Como te dije, no es que la película no me gusta, sino el punto de batalla de la película que llega al final, güey. I always thought of this movie as the Dark Chronicles of Narnia.
I mean, I guess similar. I mean, you just don't go into the wardrobe, but
you do go to the labyrinth.
True. I mean, in a way, could happen.
I don't see. Wait, it's because I'm trying to. It's because there's. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't even have a problem with her like dying. Spoiler alert, guys. Or between choosing the kid or the thing or her, like I didn't even have an issue with that way. Or when she was gonna have a or whenever she was gonna bleed out or have an abortion. Like that doesn't even bother me. Like I'm telling you, like it's not that I do not like this movie. It's just the point that they're trying to get through at the end was.
I think he honestly did.
No. It's because I do like this movie. Like I really do like the movie, but there's no way of telling somebody like, oh, let's go watch this awesome movie. Like, you know, like even though you know that you watched it, it's awesome. ¿De qué se trata? Pues se trata de una niña que se come, que la matan al final, güey. Like, no es like, ¿cómo le explicas a una persona que vea la película, güey? Cuando te dicen, ¿de qué se trata? Sin que te digan, no, está en culera, güey. Like, think about that. Ponte a pensar en eso, güey. Like, como hoy me dijo, una chava me dijo, ¿de qué se trata? Se trata de un laberinto mágico. Y le hace, ¿cómo? Bueno, pues es que hay una niña que es una princesa. Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Y luego me dice, no suena tan chida. Le hago, no, es que sí está bien chida. Y luego le hago, y está triste. Y le hace, entonces, ¿por qué la voy a ver si está triste? Y digo que no mames, pues es que no sé cómo explicarte la película. Like, que no le puedes explicar de qué se trata la película sin decirle que al último se muere la niña.
Sí, ya sé.
Porque si le dices, es que su papá se murió y ella que llegara a ver a su papá. Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Like, la película se trata de que ella ama mucho a su papá y el padrastro no la quiere. Y ella quiere ser feliz con su papá. Okay. De eso se trata la película. Con otros little plots en medio. ¿Sí o no? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we all clear there? We're good there?
It's true.
So, ¿cómo se le explicas a una persona, güey, que está triste, ve esta película triste, a ver si te hace sentir mejor? Imagínate, güey, se acaba de morir mi mamá. Like,
Yeah.
güey, ¿quieres ver una película, güey? A ver si te sientes
animas.
mejor, güey. Y vergas, esta vieja, like, esta muchacha perdió a su papá, güey, y la mataron para ver a su papá, güey. Y al final, like, they congratulate her, güey, porque se murió, güey. Like, literally le aplauden, güey, porque se murió, güey. Tan felices que se haya muerto la niña, güey.
No están felices de que se murió, güey. Están felices porque se reunió con su familia.
¿Y cómo se reúne con su familia, güey?
Pues sí, al momento de morirse.
Exacto. Entonces, le pusieron una prueba, güey, para morirse.
This is true.
Okay. So, guys, let us know who are your favorite characters and least favorite characters before we fucking end the show. This is gonna be the fucking worst show, like the shortest show ever. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Favorite character, least favorite character, güey.
Oh, Jesus. My favorite character. Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought of that. Jesus. I mean, honestly, I want to say Ophelia.
Like,
The
character
little
that you
girl.
liked?
Yeah. Ophelia, just because of her relentlessness and her I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do what I want to do sort of attitude. I just really enjoy that in someone in general, you know, being a freaking little rebel. Of course, she was trying to be respectful in every way possible, but she was just a little rebel. I thought that was fucking awesome.
So you like that.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite character?
Oh,
So you can think about it while I answer this. No. Like, that's why I said this is a good movie. Like, this is a great movie. Like, I actually think it's a great movie. Like, but it's very hard to tell somebody to watch this movie.
mm-hmm.
Like, for them to gain, because you can't tell them a lot of things about the movie because they're not gonna want to watch it with. Like, you can just tell them, hey, it's fiction. It's what is it? Like, no, it's not even science fiction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's science fiction.
Yeah, there's no.
It's sci-fi. Yeah, it's fantasy. Like, but it has a dark tone to it. If you tell them that, they're gonna probably think, oh, there's already like other movies like that or whatever. You're like, no, watch it. They're like, why? And you could have been like, oh, the ending is sad, or the ending is unexpected, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like, you don't make no justice to the movie with just saying that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's because it's very it changes, man. It changes and it's freaking awesome. I don't know. As far as least favorite character, I'm gonna say Captain Vidal. I mean, I enjoyed his character, but the way he is, like that man has no fucking feelings. And I mean, I don't blame him. He is a captain who just came out of war. You know, he's the big boy that calls the big shots, and it's on his, like, he's the one that decides on taking the lives that do end up being taken. And yeah, like, Yeah, like he was a bad guy to the max. Yes, that's exactly what that was. On every single freaking level. On every level. Like, but I mean, I get it. Like, I think that was necessary for his character. Like, for it to pop up like that, yes. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, he needed that.
You know what? I hated Hugh Jackman more in Prisoners than what I hated the Captain. But my least favorite character was actually the fauno.
I was debating on him. Is it because he's like conniving and like trickster sort of thing?
Knowing what bothered me the most about him was just I would have wished instead of him being an entity or being a person or a figure for him to be just a voice. You know, for him to be in the shadows. Like,
but that would have scared Ophelia though, as a kid.
but I don't think so because she read a lot of fairy tales.
Yeah, exactly. But
Because para eso estaban las fairies, güey. So
yeah,
ella
no.
creía en las fairies.
Yeah.
So a mí me hubiera gustado más que él nada más estuviera en las shadows. Like,
Well, I mean, technically, that's how he woke up. He was basically in the shadows, and you didn't know he was there until the fairy lands on his back. And just...
no, pero por eso, güey. Like, it would have been a lot more interesting. O even como cuando se aparecía dentro de la house, güey. O del caso. Like, que siguiera estando en las shadows, güey. Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Because I felt that the screen time that he got, they should have either given him more or just kept him in the shadows.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he was my least favorite character. Like, I think it would have been, again, nothing to do with the story or with how they wrote. Well, more like how they wrote him. But because image-wise, he looked awesome. It's just me hubiera gustado o más de él como en persona o si iban con esta cantidad de veces que salió on screen, güey, que nomás lo hubieran dejado en la shadow, güey. Y like, ponle como cuando le da la cosa a la niña para que le pongan on the milk, que se lo hubiera dado y nomás verle el brazo, güey. Like, cositas así, güey. Porque ahí te va, al último, güey, hubiera sido mucho mejor verlo por fin completo y ver que traía el cuchillo. Because you kind of knew already what he... As soon as he said, bring me the kid, ya sabías lo que iba a pasar, güey. Right? Que no pasó. Pero ya te imaginas tú, este güey se lo va a querer chingar.
Sí, well.
Right? So, si jamás lo ves, güey, y jamás ves que le entregan o sí ves que le entregan el cuchillo, pero si jamás lo ves, güey, todavía te queda esa imaginación a ti de ¿será o no será?
Yeah.
Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Y aquí no, güey, aquí ya sabías, güey. Por eso se enojó cuando no le hizo caso a la niña. Like, cositas así, güey, ya vas viendo like, qué tipo de monstruo es.
Well, it's just like Mark is saying. Pan was supposed to be the devil. You know, like that's what I was saying. Like that's why he was my like second least favorite, because of his conniving ways. You know, for being such a trickster. You know, because he tells her he starts off real sweet, like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you this book. I'm gonna give you these instructions. You follow them, and at the very moment where she fucks up, oh, I told you not to. You know.
So then what makes the dad of Ophelia?
The dad is the imagination, like the fauno playing on her naiveness. And
Pero el fauno trabaja para el papá, güey.
no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like,
so, por eso te digo, güey, el papá no es bueno. Porque no vas a dejar que el fauno le haga algo a tu niña.
a la niña.
Like, el niño vale madre.
Técnicamente, No.
Pero ahí te va, güey. La dejó morir. No la protegió, güey.
No la podía ver. He wasn't.
No,
The
no.
only one
Pero,
that can see him was Ophelia.
no, por
He
eso.
was not existing.
Pero el fauno, no, pero el fauno la protegió cuando le trajo la chingadera que se metió por. Cuando le trajo la llave, güey, que le abrió las paredes. ¿Te acuerdas? Like, que la está persiguiendo el pinche. Oh, no, al final, güey. Que la está persiguiendo el Vidal. ¿Es a mí o es a mí?
No. Oh shit! It is me.
Sí, que la está persiguiendo. Como le traía algo a él, güey. Y como estaba preocupado por ayudarla,
Yeah.
le ayudó a ella, güey. Y es donde te digo. Porque el fauno al último es el que la recibe, güey.
Yeah.
Like, él está con el papá, güey. Like, él le dice. La última prueba era. ¿Cómo se llama? Tu sacrificio.
Yeah.
Like, es lo que te digo, güey. ¿Qué papá va a sacrificar a su hija, güey?
Yeah.
Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Like, la palabra sacrificio para un humano, güey, lo hacían los pinches aztecas, güey. Sacrificaban a vírgenes o a gente, o sea, vírgenes, güey, para los dioses, güey. Like, ¿sí me entiendes? No estamos en esa etapa, güey. Ya pasó hace un vergo de tiempo, güey. ¿Sí me entiendes? O sea, no sacrificas a un humano ya, güey, en esos tiempos.
Well, I mean, that's basically what soldiers are.
No, sí, güey. Pero un papá a un hijo, güey. A un niño de 11 años. No un mayor de edad, güey. O de 8 años. Sepa la madre cuántos. 10 años tenía la niña.
This is true. What Mark is saying. He thought it was all the fawn's plan, not the dad. The fawn is not a good guy.
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, we get the acceptance of the sacrifice for her to be with them together. And the fauno is there with the dad. And the dad is the one that's telling her, like, this was what you needed to do in order for you to be happy again.
Yeah.
So whatever steps the pan took, the dad was agreeing to them as long as they were united at the end. So then that makes the dad the bad guy. Because he didn't put a limit to what he could do or what he could not do.
But technically, you don't see the dad sending out the.
You don't need to, güey. So, vamos a ponerlo de esta manera, güey. Right?
See, I'm thinking this is the reason why you've got it like twisted, because that's I see what you're thinking.
Okay, so vamos a hacer esto, right? Yo te digo, Lorenzo, vamos a contratar, güey, a un niño, a una niña, güey, a un muchacho. Va a venir a correr las luces, güey, o lo que tú quieras, güey.
Yeah.
Pero ponle una prueba, güey. Yo no quiero saber qué es la prueba, güey. Ponle una prueba, güey. ¿Ok? Y tú tomas en tus manos la decisión de qué va a hacer ese niño, güey, para poder ganarse el puesto. O el muchacho, no el niño. El muchacho o la muchacha, lo que quieras. Y luego, ya al último, güey, estás tú aquí y luego me dices, ya llega el muchacho, güey, aquí, y no sé, güey. Viene todo pinche lleno de lodo y la chingada, güey. Es como que, qué cabrón, güey, yo te pedí a alguien que viniera a correr las luces. Y tú dijiste, güey, pero tú no me dijiste cómo.
Yeah.
Like, tú no me dijiste que sí se podía y que no podía. Entonces, es ahí donde voy, güey. Si el papá le dijo al fauno, reúneme conmigo, yo quiero que mi hija sea reunida conmigo. Nunca le dijeron si sí o si no y qué podía y qué no podía hacer.
This is true.
Entonces, por eso te digo, si hubiera habido unas reglas, like if there would have been rules by the dad, güey, I think this story would have gone differently. Like, because I see it this way. The dad didn't care how. He just wanted it to happen. You get me?
Yeah.
And that's all that mattered to the dad.
Well,
Porque el fauno todavía trató de salvar a su mamá, güey.
yeah. But he wasn't trying to save the mom.
Yeah, porque el doctor le dijo, porque ya en la movie ya estaba planteado, güey, que iba a ser o la mamá o el niño. Like, en la movie se planteó, antes de que el fauno le diera la chingadera para la de esta, se planteó, si se tiene que escoger al niño
Como la mamá.
o a la mamá, se va a escoger al niño.
Ujú.
Entonces, el fauno cuando le dio eso, güey, la que empezó a salvar fue a la mamá, güey, no al bebé.
True.
Entonces, cuando queman la pinche papa... But I don't know, I never spoke with that. Flashes before she died. Well, because that's the ending they gave us, like, I had to go with it.
Yeah, like, because I see where Mark's going to, but I'll explain the way I see it, but I won't say it until the end, because I don't want to, like, you need all the details in order for it to actually make sense. That's why I'm like sort of holding back.
Yeah, no, no. That way, I just want to get rid of, because
I know.
I just want to get rid of everything that I had fucking stored from Saturday, week. Like, you should have told me. No, you should not. Nah.
No, I know, because it wasn't expected. Like, and I know the beginning of the movie. It's like, fuck, when is it gonna start? Like,
No, I didn't have no issue with it, week.
wow, really?
Like, I didn't have an issue with the beginning. I didn't have an issue with the story between the French and the Spaniards. I didn't have no issue with none of that. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not complaining about the movie, week. Like, I am not. This is not a face-off type movie.
Yeah, you just didn't like the moral.
Yeah, the moral of the story is what got me. Like, because, let me put it to you this way. How many people, and this is going to sound very stupid, but not how many people are going to kill themselves after they see this movie, because it's not that.
Yeah, it's not that.
But if people are going through shit y se ponen a ver esta película, güey, no van a acabar muy bien. Like, they're going to start questioning shit. Not that they're going to go out and kill themselves. No, I'm not saying that. But they're going to start being like, what happens if? Maybe it is. Like, like, if they do believe, way, like, I don't know how stupid people, you have no idea how stupid people can be.
No. I have a pretty good idea.
Like, si me entiendes, es eso, güey. Like,
yeah.
lo que esta película te trató de decir es, si perdiste a alguien y lo extrañas demasiado, ve y...
Muere.
Sí, ve y muere.
Yeah.
Para que estés con ellos otra vez. Qué pinche tristeza, güey. Like, that is fucking sadness at its core, güey.
Yes,
Like, I
it is
didn't...
very
Dude,
melancholic.
I finished watching the movie and I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I should drink. Like, literally, güey. Like, my first thought was, how the fuck am I gonna drink after this?
Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean
El orfanato, no, I have not, man.
that. What?
No, I have not. Sí, güey, no me pongas otra pinche chingadera de esto, Lorenzo, porque si me mato a la verga.
Dude, I'm telling you, wow. I can't believe you haven't seen freaking Guillermo del Toro's movies. Dude. So honestly, I think Hellboy and Shape of Water were like his worst movies, which were the ones in English. But this one, like El Orfanato, Pan's Labyrinth, ¿cómo se llama? The Devil's Backbone, que es el Espinazo del Diablo. I don't know, I'm missing another movie, but dude, he's got like fucking amazing movies. And yes, most of them are dark, ominous, melancholic movies, but his imagination.
Granted, no. Volvemos a lo mismo, güey.
Yeah, it's not.
No hay nada, no hay nada que no me guste de la película más que el punto detrás de la película. Like, es como, like, si le dices a alguien de qué se trató la película, se trata.
Es una niña que cree en sus cuentos de hadas.
No mames, no es eso, Lorenzo.
Es lo que está diciendo. O sea, the way I see it is this little girl is coping.
Okay, si le dices a alguien, resúmeme la película, güey.
Se trata de una niña que acaba de perder su padre en la guerra. Su madre se vuelve a casar. La niña tratando de vivir con sus yes, I do too as well. Cabinet of Curiosity is very good. Were a few of them. I wasn't a fan of all of them. like it's the way of like her coping mechanism in losing her father. So she gets lost in her fantasy world where her books are nothing but superheroes and
Fairy tales.
cuentitos de hadas. And because of this,
Thank you, Grims. Thank you.
I believe she goes into her fantasy world, and a little girl's dream. Oh, I want to be a princess. I want to I'm very important. I'm beautiful. Like that's the little girl's mindset. And she goes, "Oh, I belong to a kingdom. My father is a kingdom from far, far away."
That is not. That
Is her mentality, because she questions it the first time the pan asks her, and she's
but
like,
the
"Te
pan,
va a
no.
confirmar con la marca que tienes en
Sí,
el
sí, sí,
hombro."
pero de la
She
luna,
goes and
sí,
she
sí,
checks
pero el pan le dice, güey, sorry, el pan le dice, like, para llegar otra vez al reinado y unirnos, like, tienes que,
Tendrás que hacer.
pero ya está hablando de ella a reunirse con su papá, güey. Like, por eso, esta película no se trata de,
Pero la niña, the little girl's oblivious. She's oblivious to the
no,
thought that
sí, yeah.
that underground world.
Pero nosotros no, güey.
No, pues sí, nosotros
Like,
no, güey, porque.
por eso te digo, de cuando se le explicas a una persona, like, sí le puedes decir bien bonito, se trata de fairy tales y de cuento de hadas y de que una niña pues quiere volver a ver a su papá porque su papá se murió, right? Básicamente esa es la historia. Pero te estás perdiendo todo lo que es la película, güey. La esencia de la película se está perdiendo en el resumen. Por eso te digo, es muy difícil recomendarle a alguien esto con el resumen, con un resumen, güey.
Yeah.
Like, I get you de que la little girl, pues la little girl está pensando ella en voy a volver a ver a mi papá. Nosotros de acá afuera estamos pensando en cómo putas vas a volver a ver a tu papá si tu papá está muerto.
Yeah.
Like, eso es lo que te digo, güey. Like, no hay cómo explicarle a la gente, güey. Like, for those of you, como si han visto una película de Guillermo del Toro, nada más le dices, it's a Guillermo del Toro film. Y ya más o menos saben para dónde va la película. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
O qué es lo que esperan de una película de Guillermo del Toro. O los animales, o la creatividad, whatever you want. Pero una persona que no, güey.
True.
Like, y ya hasta aquí mi reporte, Joaquín. Like I said, before we continue,
Yeah.
or before we start, because we haven't even fucking started. I just had a lot of shit to talk about this movie because I watched it Saturday before. Watched it in Spanish and it put you to sleep twice. I haven't seen it. Now I don't know if I want to see it.
It's a different take on Pinocchio, but
qué,
I agree. Like it, because he tried to make it look more like a puppet, but with the the Guillermo del Toro's take was a little bit different. But yes, I agree. Like it did sort of bore me a little bit. Like I needed to really be focused onto it. But yes, I agree. I do appreciate the stop motion. Like it's
Yo no lo he visto, güey.
It's
But
alright.
I'll give it a shot. I
it's
watched
on Netflix.
Knives Out.
Who?
Knives
Knives
Out,
Out?
the Glass Onion. I digged it. Si no la tienen,
I don't think I've seen that one.
it's on Netflix. Watch
Yeah, I'll
it.
check it out.
Okay, so Ivana Vaquero is Ophelia, Princess Moana, a child who becomes to believe that she is a reincarnation of a princess from the underworld. I'm not gonna read everything about her. But yeah, she did good. Oh, my least favorite character was the fauno. My most liked characters were the fairy tales, the fairy godmothers, or the fairy shits. Las que se, sí,
Las hadas.
las hadas, madrinas. Sergi López es Captain Vidal, es el padrastro de la niña. Maribel Verdú es Mercedes, la housekeeper de Vidal. Doug Jones es el fauno. Y el pinche güey flaco.
Yeah, the white pill man.
Yeah. Araina Gil es Carmen. Es la reina de. Bueno, es la mamá de Moana. Alex Angulo es el doctor Ferreiro. Manolo Solo. Manolo Solo es Garcés, un lieutenant de Vidal. César Vea es Serrano, one of Vidal, another lieutenant. Roger Casamajor es Pedro. Oh, I think it's no, sí es Casamajor. Es Pedro, Mercedes brother and one of the rebels. Federico Lupi es el papá de Ofelia, el rey del inframundo. That's the word.
Inframundo.
Pablo Adán es el narrador y la voz del fauno. ¿Algo que quieran decir antes de comenzar, guys? Anything you want to talk about before we start?
Anything at all. If not, forever hold your peace. Mercedes, yes. She was a fucking doll. In every sense of the way.
You thought she was hot?
Huh? I thought, not hot, but attractive in her caring, nurturing way. I did find it a little creepy that first scene with her brother
Yeah.
when they reunite, because I was like, why are you grabbing his face, dude? Like they were a little too.
I hate it.
Fuck yeah. I don't know. That might be like something I'd put a ring on. I don't know about like just for fun, but that would be the type of person I would want as the mother of my children. Well, you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, we? Okay. In a fairy tale, Princess Moana, whose father is the king of the underworld, visits the human world, where the sunlight blinds her and erases her memory. She becomes mortal and eventually dies. The king believes that eventually her spirit will return to the underworld, so he builds labyrinths which act as portals around the world in preparation for her return. In 1944, Franco, Spain, 10-year-old Ofelia travels with her pregnant but sickly mother Carmen to meet Captain Vidal, her new stepfather. Vidal believes strongly in phalangism and has been assigned to hunt down Republican rebels. Phalangism is basically the two ways that Spain was governed put into one.
Fascist.
What?
Like fascist. Like a fascist dictatorship.
A large stick insect, which I thought was a grasshopper, which Ophelia believes to be a fairy, leads Ophelia into an ancient stone labyrinth. But she's stopped by Vidal's housekeeper Mercedes, who is secretly supporting her brother Pedro and other rebels. That night, the insect appears in Ophelia's bedroom, where it transforms into a fairy and leads her through the labyrinth. There, she meets a fauno, el fauno, who believes she is the reincarnation of Princess Moana. He gives her a book and tells her she will find it in sorry guys. She will find it in 3 tasks to complete in order for her to acquire immortality and return to her kingdom. A la vera, me estoy muriendo. Anything up to here?
Well, first, so one, we're noticing by this scene, we're already noticing that Ophelia is traveling on the road with her mother. You can tell she's in the middle of fucking nowhere because there's nothing but fucking trees around. The mother's feeling sick. She's got morning sickness or something like that. The baby's not going good with her. We see that Ophelia starts walking off. She stumbles on a rock. She puts that rock she finds a statue where that stone fits perfectly. And this is where we see that first insect come out of. We do see Ophelia like she's thinking it's a fairy, a fairy, so she goes and she's trying to catch it, blah blah blah. She comes back, talks to her mom, telling her, you know what, I just saw a fairy. And of course the mom, like she's going through her adult phase. She's really not wanting to put up with this kid, and she tells the kid, like, really, what are you doing? Like, you're really still believing in fairy tales? Like, you gotta grow up. This is not the main thing. So right off the back, right there, I'm thinking, like, what kind of fucking mother are you, bro? Like you want, I mean, you want that kid, or at least I'm imagining. I don't know. I don't have kids of my own, but I feel like that's the way I raise my kid, like to grow with as much imagination as possible and let them stay a child to a certain age, minimum like 10. Like, I want them to be a child when they are children. Once they start going to the teen stage, like, yeah, cool, boom, you're gonna get life lessons. There's gonna be things we're gonna have to teach you, things like that. But you're not gonna go and crush your kid's dreams. Like, if the little girl wants to believe in fucking fairy tales, you let the little fucking girl believe in fairy tales. You go and you play the fucking godmother. Like, you try to, I don't know. That's the way I just feel. Kids should be raised, and I get it. I get what the mom's doing. Like, she's trying to prepare the kid for the new world, but she doesn't look. See what's going on, Pickle? Pickle believes in fairy tales. There's no way. There's no way that you don't believe in fairy tales.
What's up, Pickle?
Pickle used to believe he was tall. So there's no way we can't believe him. I mean, we gotta show him that we love him.
The mom sucked. Yeah, I do think that mom sucks, but honestly, I don't think the mom ever wanted to get better.
True. This is true.
Sorry, güey.
Es el taquín, güey.
La verga que es, güey.
Es el taquín, no es el tequila, no sé qué chingados será.
Okay. So, because the mom is not happy whenever she starts feeling better. She's indifferent whenever she starts feeling better.
No, she's still the same way. We'll see later on. Okay. You want to keep going with the plot? Or do you want me to go for it?
No, I got it. The only thing I do want to know is how does the mate know that it's a labyrinth?
Because remember, everybody that's there that is not a soldier is native to that area. So they've been running this windmill. No, thank you. I appreciate it. As that these people have been running the sawmill. Like, they've been there for a while. Like, that's where they grind their flour. That's where they produce their things.
Sense makes sense.
Like that's why she starts telling the kid, like, hey, this is why this is there. I mean, she said it. This labyrinth has been here longer than the sawmill has. So we're already getting that sense that, hey, you know what? It's been there for a long time.
¿Sabes qué se me hizo una mamada?
Yeah.
El poner la mano en el libro para poder que te dijera qué tienes que hacer. Like, abrir las páginas y poner la mano en la página, güey, para poder que te dijera qué tienes que hacer.
No. El único requisito era de que estuviera sola. De que estuviera solas.
Porque estuvo sola una vez y nomás abrió el Desti y no le dijo nada.
Pero tú estabas hablando cuando desaparece el fauno y estaba todavía ahí en el...
No, que se mete al baño.
¿Sí funciona, güey?
No, la primera vez no funciona, güey.
¿Cómo que no? ¿Sí funciona?
Yeah. No, porque está turning las pages y no funciona.
I'm trying to recall that scene.
Yeah, it's the very first time that she tries it. Está en el baño, está sola, güey, y no funciona. So, lo que hace, lo cierra, lo vuelve a abrir y luego pone la mano. Like over the ¿cómo se llama?
The book.
Over the book. Y ya es donde le empieza a salir lo que tiene que hacer. So, a ver, ¿qué estaba? ¿Dónde estaba, güey?
Okay.
A ver, espérame.
I can go ahead and go if you want.
Oh, yeah. Did I finish about he gives her the book and tells her to find it and 3 tasks to
No,
complete in order?
we haven't even got into the mill yet.
What?
Okay, I'll just go.
Go for it.
When Carmen and Ofelia arrive at the mill, Stern Vidal shows little concern for his new stepdaughter, but takes great care to ensure that Carmen's pregnancy progresses smoothly. He commissioned a local doctor, Ferreiro, played by Alex Angulo, to stay at the mill and tend to Carmen. Ofelia wanders off to the nearby woods where she discovers a strange stone structure. She is found by Vidal's housekeeper, Mercedes, who explains that the structure is an ancient labyrinth that Ofelia should not enter, lest she get lost. Mercedes gently ushers Ofelia back to her house. Ofelia and Carmen settle into their bedroom. Dr. Ferreiro speaks... Dr. Ferreiro speaks with Vidal in his study, explaining that Carmen should not have traveled in such a late stage of an already difficult pregnancy. It becomes increasingly obvious that Vidal only values Carmen as a vessel for his child, which he is certain will be a son to carry on his name. Vidal's tyrannical temper is revealed that night when he brutally murders 2 peasants whom his men mistook for rebel fighters, but who were merely farmers hunting for rabbits. Vidal realizes this after the men are dead, but blames his soldiers for the error, barking that they should learn to search these assholes properly before consulting him. So, this little scene, wow, this is what really.
You talking about the last one? Like,
Yeah. This scene. Well, you start seeing his narcissistic ways, like the way he thinks of her as a vessel for a kid. Like she's like, oh, you know what? Like I'm fine. I can walk around, and he's like, sit down. Like do it for me. Like you can already tell he's a fucking asshole. Once this scene comes up, where the farmers come in and the soldiers are questioning them, blah blah blah. He's on a fucking power trip where even with the kid, like he's wearing his hat and tells him, when you address me, you uncover yourself. So of course, like the kid takes off his hat, like tries to be polite, I guess. And he does so. The father starts explaining, hey, you know what? We're just farmers. We're not rebels. We stand behind your ideology. Like you guys won the war. Like, fuck it. We're gonna go ahead and abide by your rules. Yeah. We're just out here hunting. We're gathering medicine and food for my daughter. She's sick. Of course, the captain's like, nah, fuck you. You guys are rebels. Blah, blah, blah. My men are telling me that you're rebels. And of course the son starts speaking up because the father's older, so the son speaks up and he's more like, hey, you know what, I'd really appreciate it, if my father's telling you that we went out hunting, like that's all we were doing, like we're not part of this rebel community, blah blah blah. And of course the captain does not like what the fuck he's hearing, grabs a fucking bottle of wine. Wow. Boom. I love how gory it was. Because yes, you can easily break someone's face with very little pressure. And people are unaware of this, but yes, it is very easy to do that. And of course, when he turns around and tells his soldiers, because you can even tell that even his soldiers are like, what the fuck just happened? And of course they start searching. Sure enough, they find the two rabbits they had hunted, and they find a farmer's almanac, which for those who don't know is just a farmer's book or a farmer's guide on what plants are
what's
grown
up, Bottom?
certain season. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, that is that to me was one of the most important freaking scenes to me. Like I was like, wow. It just shows the assholeness.
That scene did not bother me.
Oh no, it didn't bother me.
Like I didn't. You see, I didn't think of.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the same thing.
I didn't think of the as Vidal
Yeah.
as an asshole. Way. For the reason being that while it was happening, I didn't think so until al último que sacó el rabbit.
Yeah.
Porque para ya llegar con el capitán, güey, o con el
Vidal?
sí, con el capitán, ya tuviste que haber investigado.
Yeah. Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
So, no me importa lo que hayan dicho, güey. Yo le creía a él.
Yeah.
¿Por qué? Porque ya se investigaron tus lieutenants, tus tenientes, y luego si los otros güeyes también, los soldados también investigaron, güey, y ya llegaron hacia ti, pues ya es qué quieres hacer con estos güeyes que están infiltrando.
Yeah, now it's escalated to to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, so, yo no lo veía mal, güey.
Yeah.
Ya cuando, y hasta eso, güey, cuando le entrega los conejos, los otros güeyes se quedaron así como que puta madre, no está, él no los mató, güey, los matamos nosotros.
Yeah.
So, hasta eso, güey, yo entendí el razonamiento de ese güey.
Yeah.
Like, I understood why he did it. Like, ya cuando saca el conejo, así que, güey, se les está pagando, güey, hagan su trabajo, güey. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
So, todo eso lo entiendo. Like, yo no tuve ningún problema con eso, güey. Like, at all. Like, para nada, güey. En sí, como te digo, güey, yo a este character de Vidal, yo no lo odié tanto como odié a Hugh Jackman. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, because you knew he had to play that part. You knew he had to be that tough, stern military man.
No, deja tú el military man, güey. Vamos a ponerlo de otra manera. Vamos a decir que los que están ahí son los rebels, güey. And then military is trying to take over them. If you switch the head of the rebel cause to them, va a ser lo mismo. Si un soldado te dice, yo no estoy tratando de matarte ni nada de eso, ¿qué vas a pensar, güey?
Bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, si eres el main one y ya los otros güeyes ya te trajeron al soldado, porque ya se escaló con el güey de mero arriba, se los va a chingar.
Yeah.
Y es lo mismo que pasó aquí. So, lo puedes poner de cualquier manera, güey. Si escala hasta el último güey de arriba, lo va a matar, güey. Ya no hay vuelta atrás, güey. So, sí, con eso, like, por eso te digo, like, that was just, okay, like, lo tenía que hacer, güey. Sí, se mamaron cuando sí sacaron los conejitos.
Yeah. All right. So, that night, Ophelia sleeps beside her mother. In the middle of the night, she is woken by the sound of fluttering wings and beholds a large insect she'd spotted during the journey to the mill. After Ophelia shows the insect what she considers a fairy to look like in a book, the insect transforms into a tiny humanoid fairy and gestures to Ophelia to follow it. It leads her outside to the stone labyrinth. When Ophelia reaches the underground center of the maze, she is greeted by a faun. A supernatural creature that is half man, half goat. This is where I see that that he is like a representation of the devil because of the representation of the faun of being half goat. He explains to Ophelia that she is really the long lost princess Moana from the underground realm. The faun explains that he had been sent by the king to bring her home. But that she must first, but see, that's what the faun says. But remember, the faun is a representation of the devil. He's a trickster. He's gonna tell you, hey, this is what really is, just to get you to do what he's doing. I get it. I get what you're saying. Okay, go ahead. I know. Go for it.
So, ¿quién lo contrató a él para hacer esto, güey? Sabiendo que él es así. That's all. Like, who put him in charge to bring her back home or to the world, knowing who he is?
That's what I'm saying. The fawn is saying that he's doing this.
Exactly.
El
Knowing.
fauno. No,
No. Not the dad.
Yeah,
Pero,
exactly.
¿quién contrató al fauno? ¿O quién le dijo al fauno, hey, este es tu trabajo, ve a
He's
hacerlo?
a trickster.
Pero, ¿quién? No, pero. Ok.
The fairy.
No, not the fairy. El fairy no. El fairy es del fauno.
Por eso digo. Like,
But the fairy no le dijo al fauno qué hacer. Nadie, la persona que puso al fauno para cambiar los dos, güey.
está chingado.
Yeah.
¿Cómo
La,
estoy
la
viendo
perso-
eso?
Ya, yo digo, la verga, me estoy viendo yo solo. La persona que le dijo al fauno.
Hasta tú te asustas, ¿o qué?
Sí, güey. La persona que puso al fauno para hacer eso, güey. O la identidad que puso al fauno para traer a la muchacha otra vez de regreso fue el papá, güey. Sabiendo que este güey es como es. Like, simplemente es ahí, güey. Si yo sé que un güey roba y le digo, límpiame la casa, ¿qué voy a esperar, güey?
Yeah. Va a estar bien limpia.
Yeah.
Tan limpia que no va a quedar nada.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah, I get it.
Like, ¿por qué? ¿Para qué voy a contratar a un güey que roba a limpiar mi casa? Yo sé a lo que me estoy atrayendo o lo que me estoy ateniendo. Like, eso es lo que voy. Si yo sé que este güey, imagínate, güey, llega un mago a la verga, güey, y le digo, hey, límpiame la casa. Ah, en esta te voy a desaparecer todos los muebles y valió verga.
True.
Like, eso es. That's my thing. If you know that this guy's a trickster, why are you sending him to go get your daughter? Why don't
It's because, like Mark said earlier, like, I don't think the dad actually sent him. It's the fawn that is painting this fairy tale picture and playing off her naiveness. Like,
but you
because.
see, at the end, the father wouldn't have been happy, güey.
Huh?
At the end, the dad wouldn't have been happy. Sorry, we spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know.
Like, at the end, the dad wouldn't have been happy to have her. He would have been surprised. He would have been like, "Oh, why are you here?"
I'll
Like,
tell you
shouldn't
why he was happy when we get there, though.
Okay.
I'll tell you why he was happy.
Now shut the fuck up, man.
Okay, so the fawn explains that he had been sent by the king to bring her home, but that she must first prove herself worthy of returning. The fawn presents Ophelia with a magic book that will detail 3 tasks which she must complete by the next full moon. The first task, he explains, is to retrieve a key from the stomach of a giant toad that lives beneath a fig tree in the forest. He gives her 3 magic stones which she must feed the toad, and he also tells Ophelia to look for a moon-shaped birthmark on her shoulder that identifies her as the princess. So see, this is where I believe he's a trickster, because if you pay attention, Ophelia already said to Mercedes when she first saw her at that labyrinth, "El capitán no es mi papá," and she said it very sternly, like, "Yo, like, he is not my father." So in my head, I'm thinking the fairies are like his little demons, his little his little gang of demons that are going out and they're andan parando oreja. They're picking up little details, and of course, the little insect has seen the little girl. The little girl's out and about, doing her thing, and of course notices the birthmark. The birthmark is in the shape of the moon. Lets him know, blah blah blah. This is what I'm thinking in my head that happens. Okay, because it doesn't really come out in the movie, but this is where my mind goes after watching it so many times. Go for it.
I'm gonna shatter your dreams right here. That would be believable. But at the beginning of the movie, they let us know that her backstory is real. Like, the intro of the movie is literally telling you her backstory of Princess Moana.
So I see where you're going with that.
Like, the intro of the movie is literally like telling us what happened to Princess Moana. Who is her? So, like,
But remember that beginning. It also tells you that Princess Moana grew old, grew up, grew old. She completely forgot her memories of who she really was. She grew up around men, got old, died.
Yeah.
But that one day, the king would want his daughter to come back. It might be in another body, it might be in another form, but her soul would eventually come back. So my mind's thinking, oh, they believe in reincarnation. The soul itself is going out into going out again into the world, being reborn, reincarnated. Talking about reincarnation, if you guys like reading books, I recommend Many Lives, Many Masters by David Wise. A very interesting book based on reincarnation. Totally off topic, but and by the way, Autumn, thank you for the book recommendation. But yeah. So that's where my mind goes with this. That's why I'm thinking the way I start thinking after watching this movie. I've seen this movie at least 15 times. Okay. So meanwhile, Mercedes and Dr. Ferreiro are asking their lives by secretly aiding to the group of rebels hiding in the woods, one of whom is Mercedes' brother, Pedro, played by Roger Casamayor. Since Vidal had decided to starve out the rebels by keeping all available food and medicine locked up in the mill storeroom, Mercedes and Ferreiro must smuggle the goods silently in the dead of night. Both are all too aware of the sadistic violence Vidal inflicts upon those who disobey him. Captain Vidal is hosting a banquet at the mill for some local political figureheads. Carmen expects Ofelia to attend and presents her with a beautiful new dress and shoes for the occasion. Ofelia accepts the gifts with the lukewarm gratitude as she is distracted by the thought of the first task. As Ofelia prepares to take her bath, she examines the magic book, which informs her that the task must take place that day. Shortly before the dinner party, wearing her new clothes, Ofelia escapes to the woods. She finds a fig tree and crawls into the cavern below. She manages to feed the magic stones to the enormous toad, which vomits out its insides. Ofelia finds the key amid the sticky mess and departs. She returns to the house, her new dress completely ruined, and Carmen sends her to bed without supper. So, as far as this part, as far as the, oh yes, and that is Autumn. That is an awesome book. So as far as that part, my mind when I first saw this movie was, first off, that is not a fig tree. I don't know if you guys are familiar with fig trees. That is not a fig tree at all. That's a hell of a fucking big root, or a big trunk. Secondly, that is a fucking deep fucking tree. You see her crawling a few paces, you know.
You remember how you said that they don't go into the fucking closet or whatever? Like, cause you know how Marky said that this would be a darker side of Narnia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said, yeah, but they wouldn't go into the fucking...
Yeah, the cupboard.
The cupboard?
Mm.
Literally, she went into this fucking tree.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, sort of.
Like, literally, she went into this fucking tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Well, she went like miles into this fucking tree.
Well, I don't know about miles, but yeah, she definitely went in at least a quarter mile into it.
Dude, that was a long ass fucking walk to get to a fucking frog that doesn't move. And
that motherfucker was silent because she was walking forward. And all of a sudden, he appears right behind her. I thought that was creepy as hell. But yeah, let me go ahead and go on with it. Sorry. During the banquet, Vidal's rigid views become apparent. He vows not to rest until every rebel is shot dead. The town mayor recalls being in the army with Vidal's father, who upon his death smashed his watch on a rock to ensure that his son would know the exact time of his demise. Vidal dismisses this, claiming that his father never owned a watch, though he is seen several times meticulously cleaning an old broken pocket watch in his study. Now, this right here, that scene, that's one of the scenes that I'm telling you, like his evil side, like the bad guy part of him, like that's what really got to me. Like I was like, dude, one, you're fixing the clock, and I'm pretty sure Ophelia's mom said something. I'm pretty sure Carmen has mentioned it somewhere along the way, because apparently now you hold his watch. You know, now you hold it, and because you know the story, you're so focused on fixing this watch to get rid of that story, get rid of his memory, try to erase him from history, like how many empires have done in the past, especially, when they fight, empires start destroying other empires, so they will be banished from the history books forever.
Dads are fucked up.
Yeah. Hey, you're telling me? Emotional damage, right?
I plead the fifth, you want me? I want to get into this dads are fucked up shit.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that right there is what like really caught my attention with it. Okay, so despite her punishment from her mother, Ophelia is pleased with her success at completing the first task. Checking on the magic book again while taking a bath, blood red ink begins to spread over the page in the shape of a womb. A thud is heard in the bedroom, and Ophelia finds her mother collapsed on the floor, hemorrhaging from her uterus and begging for help. Dr. Ferreiro stabilizes Carmen with a powerful sedative and informs Vidal that the outlook for his wife is grim. She must remain on strict bed rest, and Vidal orders the doctor to save his son, even at the expense of his wife's life. Ophelia is sent to a separate bedroom and is comforted by Mercedes, who has become Ophelia's friend and protector as Carmen grows weaker and weaker. Now, see, this right here made me care for Mercedes. This is why I was saying that this would be the type of woman I would want to be the mother of my children, if ever I decide to ever have some. Because of this nurturing affection that she gives the kid. And not only this, when she first had gotten she first came out in her dress when Vidal was complaining about his coffee or whatnot. She walks in and, Mercedes is like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. You look just like a princess, blah, blah, blah. Let me go ahead and get you some milk, some warm milk and honey. Which, by the way, that is a perfect recipe to go to sleep.
What?
Milk and honey, warm milk and honey. I know it sounds super.
¿Quieres que me cague, güey?
Güey, pues está bien rico. What, are you lactose intolerant?
No, güey, pero nomás tomo leche y cago, güey.
What you just might be, brother.
No, like, como en la escuela tomaba leche, güey.
Everyone did, güey. Nada más que tomar, güey.
Pero no está bien, pero, like, si tomo leche, like, ahora, o nada ahora, pero siempre, güey, como me dan unas ganas de cagar, güey, pero creo que es porque he tragado mucho, güey. Y no estaba tan gordo cuando estaba en la escuela.
True. Okay.
Tengo una pinche historia bien grotesca que no quiero contar.
Sí, no, ahorita no las cuentes, ahorita no la cuentes. All right. So Vidal and his men continue to hunt for rebels in the forest while examining a recently abandoned campsite. Vidal finds a small glass vial of antibiotics, which he eyes suspiciously before pocketing. During the night, The faun appears in Ophelia's room and asks why she has not begun the second task yet. Ophelia explains that her mother is not well. The faun gives her a mandrake root. Okay. Ophelia, where was I?
On the root.
Yeah, Ophelia. I know, right? The faun gives her a mandrake root, explaining that when placed under her mother's bed in a bowl of milk and fed with few drops of blood, it will improve her health. Ophelia obeys, feeding the humanoid mandrake under Carmen's bed with her blood from her finger. Carmen's condition quickly improves, and Ophelia is now free to begin her next task. So this is where you were telling us that he was trying to save the mother, right?
Yeah. Who? The faun?
faun. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I think it's not so much him plotting on saving the mother, but the kid. And I'll explain to you later. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in your back burner. So that.
Por eso me haces esa pregunta,
Hey,
güey.
wait. It's good. I gotta leave little seeds, brother. Okay, so that night, Ophelia is again visited in her room wall by the faun, who gives her instructions for her second task, which involves invading the lair of a feared monster and retrieving a golden dagger. Above all things, Ophelia is warned explicitly to not eat any of anything from the enormous feast that she will find laid out on the table within the lair. The faun gives Ophelia a piece of magic chalk, an hourglass, and the aid of 3 fairies. She is to use the chalk to draw a magic door leading to the monster's lair, flip the hourglass, and return with the dagger before the last grain of sand falls.
That's you.
Thank you. After forging the otherworldly door through her bedroom wall, Ophelia follows a hallway to a large room where a magnificent feast is set out on a large table. At the head of the table sits a child-eating creature known as a pale man, played by Doug Jones. Completely motionless, with 2 eyeballs set on the plate in front of him, Ophelia finds the creature is immobile and doesn't respond to her presence. On the wall, she sees hideous paintings of the pale man devouring children and a large pile of children's shoes in a corner of the room. On the far wall are 3 cabinet doors, one of which she unlocks with a key she retrieved from the toad, and removes the desired dagger from within. As she begins to leave, she pauses beside the table and eyes a platter of grapes. Enchanted by the food, and very hungry, she ignores the previous warnings of the fauns and the present warnings of the fairies. Ophelia plucks a grape from the bunch and eats it. The fairies frantically try to alert her as the pale man jolts awake, inserting the eyeballs into the sockets of his palms. Not seeing this, Ophelia eats another grape before she turns to see the pale man approaching her. The fairies try to distract the creature, but he grabs 2 of them and eats them. Horrified, Ophelia runs with the last fairy. The pale man chases Ophelia down the hallway. In horror, she notices the chalk doorway closing as the hourglass runs out. However, Ophelia manages to draw another doorway in the ceiling and barely escapes back into her room. So, right here, this is what, watching the movie over and over again, for me, this is where I believe the fairies are actual demons for the faun. And in my mind, this is where I start seeing this as the fairies intentionally want her to fail. Because in the book that the faun presents to her, the door to open is the middle one. The first door that the fairies tell her to open is the middle one. But Ophelia's gut instinct tells her it's the one on the left. So she goes, she hits the one on the left, and of course, that's where the dagger is. Reminding you, once she touches anything in that freaking room, I don't know if the door itself, the locked door itself, would have awoken the creature as
No,
well.
it was just the food.
But yeah, but this is what we know. But from the pictures in the book itself and the image of the pile of little kids' shoes at the entrance of the hallway,
Yeah.
we see that this game has been played one too many times, again and again and again and again.
Yeah, but I don't. So you see, this is where I differ. Because the fairies that go in are never the same fairies that come out.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Because ¿cuántas uvas se comieron?
Dos.
¿Cuántas fairies se murieron?
Dos.
Okay. Los otros niños han de haber comido más, güey. Para poder que se los comiera.
But I don't think...
Porque. Porque.
I mean,
Si
I
el-
like where you're going with this, because this is actually intriguing my mind
So,
right now.
porque si el fauno hubiera querido que se hubiera muerto la niña, no le dice que no comiera. En cambio, él le dice no comas. Porque si hubiera él querido que la niña muriera, él le hubiera dicho, come todo. Antes de ir por la llave, come todo lo que quieras comer. Luego ve por la llave. ¿Por qué? Porque si se sale, güey, ya no va a poder regresar por la llave. Entonces a huevo va a ser que se la coma. Like, en especial si le estás dando toda la espalda al rey blanco, o sea, por ver cómo se llama.
Pellman.
Al Pellman. Like, si le estás dando toda la espalda, entonces cuando tú abres esto, por eso te digo, las ¿cómo se llama? Las hadas no sabían qué era.
Yeah.
Y ahora, si las hadas no le hubieran querido ayudar a la niña, no le estuvieran preveniendo que no comieran, güey. Entonces, el fauno tal vez les dijo, si ella come, van a morir. Y a lo mejor las hadas no querían morir, güey.
Okay, veo dónde vas con eso. I see where you're going with this. But the reason why I differ, and I like the way you're thinking, but the reason why I'm thinking otherwise is because this time, or the first time, now, one of the kids finally, she should have just taken food to go.
No joke.
Hey, I'm not lying. That's actually a smart idea. But this time, you're seeing that the kid actually has the dagger now. So now they run the risk of letting the Pellman know exactly what they're coming in for, why so many children have come into his lair and actually fed him. So now, instead of doing all of this, like, now he knows we can move it to a different door, we can do something
So-
like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, them things were freaking ginormous.
Divish this fool. Oh. So, let me put it to you this way. Remember that many years ago, they said that the queen was going to reincarnate. Right?
And I think it's devilish. I think that's what they were going for.
That's D.
VLSH, devilish. I don't know.
Devilish.
I don't know.
Devilish.
I don't know. But that's
DV,
actually a pretty cool name.
Nah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's dope. Okay. So, because the fairy godmothers or fairies or whatever the fuck you want to call them
Yeah.
never made it out alive, and going back to what you said, are the voice and ears of the fauno never knew what was inside there. Like, he never knew what actually went on in there. So, in his eyes, if it was the middle one, that's all he knows. That's all he knows.
Okay.
You get me? Like, por eso te digo, like, we're going to have to start dismissing theories
Yeah.
because no van a cuadrar, güey. Okay?
See, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I know this is not what it seems, but because I've seen this movie so many times, it's made me come up with theories along the way.
Yeah. So now,
and different
so
perspectives.
if the fairies are the Voizineers, the fairies never made it out. The fauno has no idea what to expect. The only thing he for sure is that they've eaten in there, and that's why they die.
Well, I mean, that is the warning.
So, yeah, no, por eso te digo, pero de ahí para allá no sabe nada, güey.
Yeah.
So, él le dice, no comas para protegerla.
Well, if the fairies escape,
This time the fairy escaped.
no, but what if the fairies escape previous and that's
No,
why
because
you
the
know-
fairy stayed with them. Las fairies no se van sin la persona.
But see, but that's what I'm saying.
Like,
now
because-
the person actually has, like, I'm wondering in my head, like, would the fairies would have reacted differently if she would have just been tempted at the get-go, like from the get-go, as soon as
Didn't figure you as a movie buff papas.
oh, I know exactly who that is now. That's my little pup-ups. And no, I'm not a super movie buff, but it's definitely catching. This is one of my favorite movies, so like that's why I'm real into this right here. But
So you think they would have reacted different if first the girl would have eaten?
yeah, like I'm thinking, like, would they have reacted differently? Like, would they have just bolted and just, like, booked it, or because she has the dagger now, like now she's worth more because now she actually has what she was supposed to come in for?
No,
and
because,
that's why they're trying to
because
distract her.
she wouldn't have had the dagger if she would have listened to that.
Exactly. You see, like that's
Like,
what I'm
por
saying.
eso
Like,
te digo,
that's why I
like-
believe. Like my theory is like these little fairies were his little minions, his
Yeah,
little
pero-
devils
pero
to
the-
feed the
pero-
pale man.
Pero they weren't. No, because
Because remember, he tells her you have to prove yourself worthy.
yeah.
So he's already telling her, I'm gonna set you up for failure. It's up to you if you know that's what I'm thinking.
No, it could have been more like if you're really in this bloodline, if you're really the incarnation, then you would be a lot smarter than everybody else. Because, yeah, there's two ways to put that. Y por eso te digo, güey, las fairy tales no son las mismas. No son las mismas fairy tales from the first kid to the second kid to the third kid, porque todas murieron en el intento. ¿Por qué? Porque abrieron siempre la equivocada, güey. Como las... Volvemos a lo mismo. Como la mentalidad del fauno, tal vez es la del medio, güey. Las fairy tales piensan, es la del medio, nos dijeron que era la del medio. Y la niña dice, no, no va a ser la del medio, va a ser esta. Y por eso se salvan.
Yeah.
Porque si no, se hubieran muerto todos.
It would have gone there. All right, so let's see. Let's keep going. So Mercedes and Ferreiro make another dangerous visit to the rebels in the woods, bringing them supplies from the storeroom. One of the rebels, Frances, is suffering from an infection in his leg from a bullet wound. Dr. Ferreiro determines that the leg must be amputated before the gangrene spreads beyond it, and takes on the unpleasant task in the rebel hideout. The Fawn revisit. Okay, so right there, like, I actually thought that was a fucking dope fucking scene. And mainly on Ferreiro's part, when he just turns around and tells him, you know what, I'm gonna try to do it in as least cuts as possibly, as I possibly can. And I was just like, whoa, dude. I was like, it takes some fucking balls. Because one, you ain't got no anesthesia. You ain't got, you know, you're going into this motherfucker. The only thing they're giving you is a fucking bottle of liquor, and fuck it, boy. You gotta fucking deal with it. Okay, so the Fawn revisits Ophelia in her room, and she gives him the dagger, but admits that something went wrong during the second task. The remaining fairy guide angrily whispers something or in the Fawn's ear, explaining Ophelia's disobedience. He admonishes her for her recklessness and tells her that with the full moon only 3 days away, she may never prove herself worthy of returning to her kingdom. He vanishes, leaving Ophelia alone and in misery. The next day, loud crashing sounds are heard through the woods. Vidal assembles his men and they rush into the woods to confront what they assume to be attacking rebels.
No
but
joke, devilish.
discover a derailed train. In apparent decoy move and no rebels in sight, Vidal returns to the mill to find that the storeroom is missing a large amount of supplies. He also sees that the lock is not broken or tampered with. This leads him to suspect Mercedes, since she carries the only key to the storeroom. He questions her, but she assures him that she had nothing to do with it. So this right here, I thought this was a freaking excellent military move, like a decoy for the rebels to actually consume something. But that is where they fuck up. I mean, I don't know if they did it for the writing, just so Vidal can actually find out what they're doing. But I would have fucking broken down that door. Now, another fun fact about this movie: there was no they didn't use any fireworks, anything that was sparking or anything like that, because of the moment where when Guillermo del Toro went to film this in Spain was going through one of its worst droughts recorded in history. So he was like super extremely careful. No gunshots were fired. Nothing whatsoever of pyromaniacs or pyrotechnics were going on because of the risk of catching fire. Okay. Vidal and his men finally have a direct shootout with the rebels one rainy day in the forest. They callously shoot all the serious wounded men they find, but when they discover a rebel sustaining only a leg wound, they haul him to the storeroom for interrogation. Mercedes soon learns that a rebel has been captured for torture and rushes to the storeroom in fear that it's her brother Pedro. Mercedes catches a glimpse of the man's desperate face before the door swings shut and sees that the unfortunate prisoner is not Pedro, but an associate named Tarta.
Por tartamudo.
Por tartamudo. Yeah, I was like, wow. Now, Vidal casually shows Tarta the array of tools that he will be using to extract information about the rebels. Noticing that Tarta speaks with a heavy stutter, Vidal taunts him with a proposition. If Tarta can count to 3 without stuttering, he will be set free. Vidal addresses his second in command, Garces, who confirms Vidal's power to release him, and Tarta attempts Vidal's challenge but fails, of course, and Vidal begins the torture. Now, I honestly believe that was the worst part of the torturing.
The 3?
Yeah, giving him the opportunity to get away, knowing his speech impediment. I think that was like the lowest blow for him. And I'm thinking, okay, so something like Devilish was saying, I think right here, you're talking about the leg wound here, but if I'm getting hauled away for torture, fuck that. I'm gonna try to use my gun and kill anybody I can. And if I'm one bullet left, like, fuck, I'm gonna use it on me because I know what the fuck's coming. I know I'm not getting out of that, and I'm not gonna try to fucking prolong my pain. You can call it a cowardly way out, but, and I mean, not to reiterate back on suicide, but fuck that. I'm not gonna withstand hours of fucking pain.
Well, that's what happens. Like after they beat the fuck out of him, that's what the doctor does.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ya nomás mátame, güey, y lo mató.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where we're going with that. Dr. Ferreiro is later summoned to the storeroom by Vidal, who wants him to strengthen Tarta for another round of interrogation. Ferreiro is horrified to see Tarta reduced to a broken, bloody pulp who is begging for death. Ferreiro gently euthanizes the poor man, angering Vidal, who fatally shoots Ferreiro as he departs the storeroom. Vidal had also discovered vials of antibiotics in the doctor's case that were identical to the ones found at the rebel campsite, confirming Ferreiro's involvement in aiding the rebels. that part right here with Dr. Ferreiro, you know, showing his human side, his humanity towards Tarta, is crazy. But my hat's off to Vidal for being able to keep this motherfucker alive. Viva el sexo, este güey. Yes, exactly, devilish on my terms. But yeah, I thought I thought that was freaking awesome of him for him to be able to keep him alive that long. Okay, so later
Thank you for the big greens.
later Ophelia checks on the mandrake beneath her mother's bed, and she is interrupted violently by Vidal, who discovers the mandrake root with disgust. Carmen wakes and Vidal shoves the milk-soaked mandrake into her hands, chastising her for letting Ophelia read fairy tales and get silly ideas. Carmen insists on speaking to Ophelia alone, and Vidal leaves them. Though Carmen and Ophelia had a close and loving relationship, Carmen's sad and dismissal view of the world made a sharp contrast with her daughter's optimistic innocence. Carmen attempts to prove to Ophelia that magic does not exist and throws the mandrake root into the blazing fireplace. Moments later, Carmen collapses in pain, and the mandrake, which had become the embodiment of Carmen's health, is destroyed in the flames. So this right here is where I was telling.
Oh, we're there.
Yeah, like this is where I was telling you that she was a fucking horrible mother, because it's like this is where she explains to her like, oh well, it's been such a long time, like I was alone, and the daughter of course not understanding what was going on, so going with Grimm's Viva el Sexo. This is where, you know, the mother is explaining to her, or trying to explain to her daughter, it's been a long time since I've been with the man, and I'm needing this intimacy.
Okay. So, Chema.
Okay.
I'm not a parent.
Neither am I.
Pero los hijos se van, güey.
¿Eh?
Los hijos se van.
Oh, sí, yo sé.
Ahora.
No todos.
No, sí te vas, güey. Va a haber un tiempo donde te vas a ir.
Yeah.
Te tienes que ir, güey. Güey, dime lo que quieras. Dudo mucho que una persona vaya a tener, al menos que sea necesitada de...
Yeah.
No creo que se vaya a pasar su vida viviendo con su mamá.
Con su mamá.
O con su papá.
Yeah.
¿Right? Puede ser al revés. Que tú al rato te vas y tú encargues de tu mamá y de tu papá, pero ya están viviendo contigo. No al revés.
No al revés.
Sí. Los hijos se van, güey. Yo entiendo. Y por eso tampoco no creo que haya sido una muy mala madre. Porque buscó el bienestar de la familia. Antes del bienestar de ella. Porque ella no estaba feliz tampoco.
You know what? I hadn't thought about it that way.
Buscó el que ellos no les faltara nada. Salió embarazada. Y ella dice, hay cosas de las cuales...
aún no comprendes.
Sí. So, por cuidar el bienestar de la familia, ella se aventó quedarse con el general o con el capitán para poder que no les faltara nada. Entonces, no es tan mala madre, güey. Pero, porque hasta eso, si hubiera sido mala madre, hubiera dejado que le partiera a su madre Vidal.
Yeah.
So, también tenemos que ponernos a pensar, güey. Los hijos se van. La persona que se va a quedar a ella, el error que ella cometió con quedarse con él, güey, lo que la va a pagar al último va a ser ella.
Yeah.
Güey, si hubiera acabado esta película de una diferente manera.
Well, like I said, you really changed my mindset right there. Just because of those little pointers you're giving. I had never thought about it in that way. Or in that sense.
Yeah, porque le podemos tirar mierda a ella, pero ¿quién más se va a chutar el cuidado de ella y de su hija, güey, si son pobres?
True.
¿O qué prefieres, güey? ¿Tú tener que aguantar al pelado, güey? ¿O tú tener que aguantar? Ponle, si tú tienes un hijo, tú tienes un hijo, güey, right? Y por cuestiones de la vida te está yendo a la verga, güey. Right? Se murió tu esposa, güey. Te está yendo a la chingada, güey. No tienes trabajo, no tienes que comer, güey. Estás viviendo de la chingada. No te lo deseo, pero estás viviendo de la chingada, güey. Llega alguien que a lo mejor no te trata mal, güey, pero te da, güey, para que tu hijo esté bien. Vas a hacer hasta lo imposible, güey, con tal de que tu hijo esté bien.
Yeah.
Te lo puedo apostar. Y si acaso a la larga tú acabas mal con ella, güey, ya tú vas a saber si después de que tu hijo crezca y sea grande, tú vas a decidir si vas a estar o no vas a estar. Pero que le falte algo de comer a tus hijos no lo vas a dejar, en mi opinión. Pero no soy papá.
Okay. So, Carmen is dragged into a harrowing labor, which she does not survive. She delivers a healthy son, which is satisfaction enough for Vidal. But Ofelia is devastated by her mother's death. Now orphaned and at the mercy of her evil stepfathers, Ofelia's only ally is Mercedes. Ofelia admits to Mercedes that she knows that she and the doctor had been helping the men in the woods, but swears to keep the secret to herself. Vidal summons Mercedes to his study that night, casually musing about how the storeroom could have been opened so easily when she had supposedly given him the only key sometime before. Mercedes, knowing that Vidal has discovered her secret, prepares to escape the mill that night. She stops by Ofelia's room to say goodbye, but ends up bringing her along as the girl begged not to be left alone at the mill. Mercedes and Ofelia attempt to escape that rainy night, but are quickly apprehended by Vidal and his men. Vidal drags Ofelia back to her bedroom, furious that she had known about Mercedes and Ferreiro aiding the rebels. He locks her in a room, giving his men orders to kill her if anyone tries to break in. He then returns to the storeroom where Mercedes has been brought and bound for torture. Vidal begins the same speech he gave to Tarta, showing Mercedes the various tools he will use to extract information from her. While his back is turned, Mercedes cuts through her binds with a small paring knife kept hidden in her apron and attacks Vidal, plunging the blade into his back and then shoving it into his mouth. She furiously warns him not to harm Ofelia and then slashes the knife through the side of his cheek before fleeing into the forest. Vidal, not quite incapacitated, orders his men to bring her back at once. Now, that scene right there. Wow, I love that fucking scene and just made her that much sexier to me. The fact that, like, because we have to remember that when she had gone back to see her brother in the woods, she had said, "Soy una cobarde. I'm a coward. I'm a coward for not running and not fighting, but rather I'm cleaning his clothes. I'm feeding him, like I'm catering to him, basically." And I love the fact where now she knows that, hey, you know what? I'm fucked in this position. I can no longer be a spy. I can no longer be or infiltrate his base. Now I'm off to fend myself. The fact that she says, "You're not the first pig I carved and you won't be the last," I thought those were fucking powerful words coming from her. And I had always wanted to see what Joker would look like without masks. And that slice in his cheek, I actually wanted to see that, and this movie gave it to me. Okay, so Mercedes arrives at a clearing in the woods before several of Vidal's men catch up to her on horseback. Garces tauntingly approaches her, but a barrage of shots ring out from the surrounding trees, shooting all the men off their horses. The surviving rebels emerge from the woods, led by Pedro, who embraces his sister as she weeps with relief. Now, quick little fun fact about Guillermo del Toro. This movie solidified his hatred for horses. He used to dislike them. This movie made him hate horses, because apparently all the horses that were in this production were very ill-tempered and really not cooperating. Like they weren't broken into completely. Just a quick little fun fact. Locked away in her room, Ophelia is visited again by the faun. He has decided to grant her one last chance to prove herself as Princess Moana. He tells her that the third and final task is to fetch her infant brother and take him into the center of the labyrinth. Ophelia escapes her bedroom using the piece of magic chalk and sneaks into Vidal's quarters where the baby boy is kept. Ophelia takes a bottle of the sedative previously administered to his cheek, administered to her mother by Ferreiro, and hides in Vidal's room. Watching him sew up the horrid gash in his cheek while he is distracted, Ophelia drugs his glass of scotch heavily with the medicine. As he drinks, gunfire and explosions erupt as the rebels begin an attack on the mill. Vidal rushes to the doorway but begins to stagger as he begins feeling the side effects of the drug. Vidal makes out the blurry image of Ophelia standing in the doorway holding the baby, who she had gently taken from his cradle. Vidal stumbles after Ophelia as he runs to the labyrinth with her brother. This right? Okay, no, I wasn't gonna say shit about this one. I know, right? I'm over here in my mind. Or was I?
You're gonna say shit about what?
Let's see.
There's nothing there yet.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, it's this next part. When Ophelia reaches the center of the labyrinth with the baby, the faun is waiting for her with a dagger from the pale man's lair. The faun explains that the full moon is nigh and that the portal to the underground realm, Princess Moana's kingdom, must be opened with the blood of an innocent. He says he needs a drop of blood from the baby, just a pinprick, to open the portal and return Ophelia to her true home. Ophelia staunchly refuses to let her baby brother be harmed in any way, and insists she would give up her chance at entering the heavenly kingdom for him. Vidal finally catches up to her and sees her talking to nothing but air. Remember, this is where I was saying that the faun, she's the only one that can see him. He forcibly takes the baby and shoots Ophelia in the stomach before departing the labyrinth. As Ophelia begins to bleed out, she collapses onto the stone portal in the bottom of the maze. Her blood begins to drip into the portal, and she faintly smiles as her body becomes still. Now, before I go into the things, I'm gonna try to finish off the rest of the movie.
Yeah, go for it.
Vidal exits the labyrinth with the baby, only to be met by a score of armed rebels, including Mercedes, waiting for him. Knowing he cannot escape them now, he calmly hands his son to Mercedes, asking her to tell him one day what time his father died. So this right there is going back to where he is trying to do the exact same thing that Ophelia's dad did, but Mercedes is denying him. Before he can finish his last request, Mercedes firmly assures him that the boy won't even know your name. Pedro then shoots Vidal in the face, leaving him dead at the entrance of the labyrinth. Mercedes and the rebels rush into the labyrinth and find Ophelia bleeding out into the stonework. Mercedes weeps uncontrollably as Ophelia draws her last breath. As Ophelia leaves the mortal world, she is transported to a grand hall and sees both her parents alive again, sitting atop tall thrones. She has been called home as Princess Moana at last, to be reunited with the king and queen. The faun appears and explains that the last task was a test of honor and integrity.
Yes.
Because Ophelia offered her own blood to open the portal instead of her brother's, she has proved herself brave and kind-hearted enough to re-enter the underground realm. The narrator explains that Princess Moana became the eventual beloved ruler of the realm, and that small traces of her time in the mortal world are still visible, but only to those who know where to look.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is exactly why I was saying this is why they were happy. This is why they were happy. Not because she was willing to kill herself, but because she was not willing to let her baby brother be harmed. This is why I believe that she wasn't that's not why they were praising her. I know at the entrance, like, oh, welcome back, and you see the real father, you see the real mother. That's why I'm not like, oh, they were happy she died. No, they're happy because of the willingness of her not letting any harm come to this baby brother of hers.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot,
They
bro.
could have been the same 20 years later. And instead of harming her brother, they could have been harming her own child. She still would have chosen herself over her child and over her brother. She didn't have to do it at a young age. She did not have to do it at a young age. There's no but here.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
Yes.
Because she was always going to be the princess. Okay? No, it doesn't matter at what age. She would have been the princess.
Yes, correct.
Okay? Now, the person telling her that by choosing her own blood rather than that of another was her own father. So the father knew that the fauno was going to make her take this test. That means that he knew that everything about the three things, it was going to happen. Because the father's the one that tells her that she passed the final test. He knows then that there was different tests to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And he put the fauno up to it.
But remember, the fawn had told her that it only took a pinprick of blood to open up the portal.
Yeah, from her brother.
No, of innocent blood, because he didn't say of the brother.
Yeah, well, of innocent blood, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it took even a little bit, she could have done it for her own. The point here, yeah, exactly. But the point here was, que ella lo hiciera para ella,
Yeah.
for her to offer herself, but she didn't offer herself.
She didn't get the time to.
No. But that's what I'm telling you. Like, she's like, porque hubiera dicho, not him, but me.
But me, exactly.
Like, because it would have been in a matter of instant.
Oh yeah.
But she would have met that choice if she would have been older. Because she's not mature enough.
Oh, have you fucking met the crazy people there?
No. But think about it. Because
motherfuckers be willing to fucking shoot kids.
no. But think about it. Because she just lost her mother. The only thing of her mother was her brother.
Yeah.
So if she would have been more mature, she would have understood that the way they phrased it was for her to do it.
But she wouldn't have been innocent anymore. And
What makes you think that she wouldn't have been innocent? If she was gonna be locked away,
yes, but
like innocent, she wasn't. The only thing she was gonna have with her father, with the stepdad, was gonna be her fairy tales.
but like that. See, look, like that's the thing. This is where I believe that what they mean by yeah, I know, right? True. This is where I think it's more of what he means by innocence, because remember you're talking about Spanish. So like inocencia could also mean naiveness.
Yeah.
Being naive.
Pero she would pero at that
Naive. Hold on, let me finish with it. So the naiveness, what I'm thinking about is her willingness to accept a fairy tale world, which as you get older, you start, or for those that are religious, start thinking about it as heaven. They start thinking of, oh, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to go to the pearly gates. I'm going to end up being in where streets are paved with gold. I never have to eat, blah, blah, blah. Or
whatever it is.
46 virgins, whatever fucking thing you're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I believe that her. That's what I believe the writers or Guillermo is trying to explain of like what it is that innocence needs to be, rather than like being
Yeah, because naive and innocent is not the same. Being naive, you can be mature and be naive.
yes, this is true.
But you cannot be innocent and be naive. I mean, you can be naive and be innocent too.
Mm-hmm.
So naive and innocent don't go part apart.
In the English language,
Or in the Spanish language.
what would be the Spanish translation for naive?
Pendejo.
O sea, mamón, güey.
Sí, güey. Porque uno es inocencia.
Sí, ya sé que.
Una es inocencia y otra es pendejez. Una es inocencia y la otra es ser un bruto.
Okay.
Ya sea un bruto de fuerza, un bruto de pensamiento. La palabra bruto no en sí significa ofender a alguien, sino es fuerza bruta, es fuerza descomunal.
Like brute strength.
Yeah, brute strength. Puedes ser un bruto en tu pensamiento, donde tal vez a lo mejor no te da para pensar más.
Okay.
Sí, sí me entiendes, por eso no es tanto ser un pendejo, pero sí es ser bruto, güey. Bruto en algo no siempre tiene que ser algo malo. A lo mejor no te da para pensar más, güey. O no puedes salir de esa cajita. Ingenuo.
Well, appreciate that, Grims. In general, I learned something new.
So, por eso yo sé, güey, que esta película, porque as soon as the father said, this was your final test, yo sé que el diablo en esta película estaba trabajando para el Dios. Son del inframundo, güey. ¿Qué es el inframundo?
The underworld.
Exactly. If we are led to believe, who's in the underworld? The bad guys. So this was never
Hades.
Yeah.
The Lucifer.
Yeah,
Prince of
whatever
Darkness,
way.
whatever,
Yeah. Esos güeyes siempre se están quemando, güey. Aparentemente todos se queman abajo. Sorry. ¿Sí me entiendes? Entonces, desde que dijeron el inframundo, güey, yo dije, esto va para algo muy malo o esto va para algo muy bueno. Yo pensé que a esta vieja le iban a salir cuernos y iba a volar.
No mames, güey.
Sí, sí, sí.
¿Cómo se llama la character que she came out in Marvel vs. Capcom? Morticia? No, no, Felicia?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Que tenía alas and she turned into a bat y mamá. I don't know, I'm going. Es que se me fue la onda.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
Like, ya nada más sabiendo que son del inframundo, güey, vienen de un lugar oscuro. A lo mejor la niña no es oscura de naturaleza, pero viene de un lugar oscuro. So, si pones el 1 más 1, ya te está diciendo, no vamos para un buen puerto en esta película.
Yeah.
Right? Yo lo entendí desde un principio. Solamente aquí es el final de la película es qué tan ojete es tu papá que sabe que no vas a dañar a tu hermano para lastimarte tú.
Es el rey del inframundo.
Pero por eso te digo, güey. Esta película es básicamente, mija, ocupo que te mates para yo estar contento porque ya estás conmigo. O, apá, yo quiero estar contigo, entonces me tengo que matar. Esa es la película, güey. ¿Sí me entiendes? Por eso te digo, el fauno sabía, güey, que el papá iba a aceptar todo, güey. Y al último, we know for a fact that the dad knew what he was gonna do.
This was all the fabrication of a young girl, and in the end, she goes home. Yeah.
You see, I would believe that this was just a make-believe, like of her imagination, but I don't think Guillermo del Toro would have set us up like that from the beginning.
Well, remember, so this is one of those films where they show you the very ending of the scene, or like the very ending of the movie, and then they rewind it, and they start it from the beginning. But the intro to this movie, you start hearing the voice talking about the fantasy world of the underworld.
Yeah.
This is why like, you know, it's got that little fucking vibe to it.
Yeah, so that's why I said, like, if we take, because we can only take anything from the movie that's at face value, right? That's why we could pretend. That's why I'm telling you, I'm affirmative that the dad knew what the fauno was doing because at the end he's the one that tells her, "You finally passed the test, the final test." So he probably set up the other two too. Way. Like, ¿sí me entiendes? Like he probably, and I'm saying probably because we don't know. But if he's assuring you that he did the third one, that he knew what the girl needed to do for the third one, what makes you think that he didn't do the same for the second and the first?
Ah, cabrón.
¿No es la misma historia de Jesús? No sé.
No, porque no creo que.
No,
No creo que.
porque ella se llamaba
Que
Ofelia.
José era gacho con él, era nada más carpintero.
Pero cada quien es la imaginación de cada quien, güey.
Pues sí.
¿Qué pasa si le clavaba las manos, güey? Por eso no le dolió cuando...
And see, like that's another thing too with like the pale skin man, like with the slits for the eyes in his palms. Like I was like, wow, it's like Guillermo's being a little risky with this.
No, like, it's just that way. Like, para mí sí me queda muy clavado esto que el papá no vale madre
nah,
de la
porque-
niña. Like, él ponerle las pruebas a su hija que la puede matar, güey,
Mhm.
a tan temprana edad, güey. No, no es de Dios, güey.
Oh, sí, tienes razón.
Yeah, güey, like, it's just... It's because I let go of everything that I had to say at the beginning of the fucking start, like at the start of the podcast. Yeah. Pero sí, güey, y por eso mismo, también, güey, donde el diablo es, o donde el fauno está con ellos, güey, es como la mascota de ellos, güey, es como la chacha de ellos, güey. ¿Sí me entiendes? So, si la chacha es ojete, güey, ¿qué esperas de los demás?
¿Cierto?
¿Qué esperas de los patrones? Oh, Mark, you already put your... What are your positives and your negatives, Mark? What are your positives and your negatives? Lorenzo, you want me to go first?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Number one, nah.
Ah, chica.
Sí.
Abre una pinche lista, güey.
No, positives about the movie. I really, really liked the movie as a whole. Like, not anything in particular, but the whole movie as a whole is a good movie. It's a great movie, actually. Like, I wouldn't know when I would watch it again, not because I didn't like it, but I don't think there's a proper time to watch this fucking movie. Like, no creo que hay un momento que yo diga, mira, fíjate, está soleado el sol, déjame ver la película. O, estoy aburrido, déjame ver la película. No, güey, like, porque sí está un poquito fuerte, güey, el como se trata del suicidio, básicamente de suicidarte, güey. O de querer.
Es que no es suicidio, güey. It's not
No,
suicide.
no es suicidio, güey. Pero básicamente es, yo quiero que esto te pase. O sea, si no lo vas a hacer por ti, va a pasar algo que lo vas a hacer.
Está soleado el sol.
Está soleado el sol.
No se presentó Luis Miguel, güey. Aunque a veces sí lo ves medio tostado.
Sí. So, sí, güey. Como básicamente era, si tú no lo haces, va a pasar. Por eso te robaste al niño. ¿Sí me entiendes? Tú sabiendo que te robaste al niño, sabes que te van a matar, güey. Sabes que el papá te va a matar. Tú sabes lo que significa el niño para el papá. O te matan, o te matas. O sangras, básicamente.
Yeah.
So, sí, güey. That's, like, well, anyways. But one, I like the movie as a whole. I like the characters, güey. Like, the characters I really liked. I like the costumes or the fucking makeup, like whatever it is. I really enjoyed that. My dislike. Honestly, I guess my biggest dislike was that I didn't have a lot of fauno in it.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Déjame.
No. Well, También le voy a poner todo.
No.
Our sponsors again. Los Rosales HT.
Middle's Creations
Yeah,
and OG
Middle's
Barber.
Creations and OG Barber. Guys, thank you very much. We're sorry, these last couple of episodes, we've just been real into the talk where we completely forget. But we didn't forget you guys this time. But thank you very much for the sponsorships, and thank you very much for everything you've done last year for us and the channel. And once again, Happy New Year's, guys. But
Dislike. I would have wished the fauno to be more mysterious. Either less of him, or if they were gonna actually show him, have him more in the background of her. Like even if she was gonna go like to like cuando se mete al tree, güey, que él estuviera ahí, güey. Like que apareciera más, güey. O que apareciera más o que apareciera menos como persona.
boom. Now I understand why freaking Marquis said this was like Narnia, because Narnia had a fucking fawn too. It had Mr. Thomas. It just came into my head.
I saw Narnia once. That was it. Then I just saw the first one.
Oh yeah, the other man, but it's because I had read the book. But yeah. Wow. Thank you, Peter, for always concurring with us. Mark says, positive, great imagery and amazing acting all around. Love Doug Jones. Good storytelling, not a whole lot of negatives. Maybe I would have liked to see more of the rebel side.
You see, I think that would have taken us out. I think that's another dislike way.
What?
The rebel side.
But you needed them. You needed them to create the chaos surrounding the sawmill.
I don't think I needed them as much as they appeared though. Like I don't think you needed them as much as they appeared. Like como cuando dejaron el de este güey. Like el botecito que estaba ahí en la lumbre or whatever. Like y luego que aparecieron en el background. That was badass. Like si hubiera sido la pelea, güey, and then we would have jumped to like actually them bringing back somebody captive, that would have been awesome too. And then at the end, donde ellos empiezan a llegar, güey, y nos entendemos que Mercedes, like, ¿sí me entiendes? Que todo hubiera pasado igual, güey. Like, hubiéramos, con ese botecito nos dimos cuenta que y hasta eso, it could have been more mysterious between Mercedes and the doctor, because we could have found out till the very end that Mercedes was the one helping them when they left the thing unlocked. ¿Sí me entiendes? Y así el doctor cuando lo mata, like, con el héroe frasquito nos hubiéramos dado cuenta que era el doctor, güey. Pero jamás hubiéramos sabido si sí o si no.
True.
Like, it's like those little things. Right now that he said about that. The rebels are scary. Pero sí, güey. Like, but I think those were, and this is nitpicking because I really enjoyed the movie. I fucking enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
Yes, I would agree. I enjoyed everything. Costume design, story, backstory, the way everything played out. The only thing I think I would have taken away would have been that initial scene where you see Ophelia bleeding out. I think if he would have withheld that information, it would have given you more of a shock at the end when she finally dies, because you know you're thinking, oh, she's gonna open up a portal. Excuse me, she's going into the underworld. There is a possibility of a sequel, you know. And me being a Guillermo del Toro fan,
There was actually a sequel on the way, but they canceled.
for Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. But being a fan of Guillermo del Toro's work, that is honestly what I was really
I
hoping
think
for.
they novelized it, Pan's Labyrinth, in 2019
Did
or
they?
2017. Yeah.
Fan based?
No.
By Guillermo?
Guillermo del Toro and some other of another woman writer.
Wow, I'm gonna have to definitely look that up. Oh. I'm over here like wanting to already.
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, you can look it up. Yeah, man, like the hardest thing about this movie is to recommend to somebody, güey. Like, this movie to recommend to somebody que te preguntan de qué se trata, güey. Like, porque básicamente nomás les vas a decir, oh, pues es de una niña que cree en fairy tales. ¿Verdad que sí?
Yes, there's a trilogy, but I don't know if it's the same thing or if like
I don't know, güey.
yeah, I know, but shit, adding to my Amazon wish list, motherfucker, and it's only $50. Both.
¿Qué te voy a decir, güey? Algo te voy a decir. ¿Pero qué, güey? Ah, sí, güey. Like, es muy difícil decirle a alguien, hey, ponte a ver esta película, güey, está muy buena. Y luego te van a decir así como que, güey, ¿qué me chingón me dijiste que viera, güey? Like, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
Entonces, that's the only thing, güey. Like, it would be an awesome movie to watch with different people and have them have a different way of seeing things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much.
Adam, that's actually what I really enjoyed about this movie.
The plot twist.
Like, the fucking dad wanting her daughter to be killed.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, basically that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the best part of this, honestly. Well, not that the girl died, but the plot twist was actually really good. If you haven't watched the short stories Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix, no, but Grimm's la recomendó también. Lorenzo said that some of them were good.
Yeah. Definitely some of them were good. Man, I can't even recall the freaking episodes off the top of my head. I know the very first one I did enjoy. The one of the rat. That one was a little weird. But very interesting. But yeah, I definitely like the way Guillermo del Toro brings out his monsters, and you know the way he's real creative with everything. Because in every movie that he's done, you know, it's usually sci-fi, and you can see. Wow, he didn't like most, to be honest, really. Wow. Dude, that would have been freaking awesome, Grims. Yes. But I don't know if he's hood enough. I don't know if he's hood enough to be able to bring that back, though. Like, or at least to... Oh, wait, no, because that's Tales from the Crypt. I'm over here thinking about Tales from the Hood. Which is similar to Tales of the Crypt, but the hood side.
Tales of the Crypt was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, because I think the stories were from different people.
For this one?
For the Cabinet of Curiosities. Yeah, but I think it's just like his director's imagination about.
I wouldn't even mind a Netflix type series for Goosebumps way with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it's just he has this way about him to bring those characters to life that I really can take.
What was the name of the fucking books, Wayne?
Because for the longest time I've wanted to dress myself up as either the Pale Man or the Fawn. No, or or the Fawn. In this one, but I was like, wow.
Propane, like gas.
Propane next. Yeah, question mark, Marky.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Mark, congratulations.
You gonna get that?
No, he's getting engaged.
Oh, congrats.
Yep. And
Ahora sí vas a saber lo que es coger a huevo, güey.
orphanage. Oh, dude, I know.
Orphanage next. Mark, where were you whenever we made the list for this shit?
Yes, no shit, bro. And by the way, tell Crystal she's welcome in the family. I know she's been part of the family for a while, but I just haven't had time. And I'm sorry I missed you, brother. But I was working when you did visit. Dude, you really have to watch that movie. At least The Orphanage.
Well,
at least.
But let's see what we're gonna be season 3 with, and then let's see what we.
All right,
let's see
I'm
what
already loving this.
Yeah, let's see what season 3 was gonna
bring.
Yeah, because if we have to do another draw of movies, well, it's gonna be pointless to watch it, and then because I rather just watch movies that I haven't watched ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is gonna be a freaking.
Yeah, because you'll get like Prisoners. You'll get me like Prisoners. You'll get me like Pan's Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Sweeney Todd that I fucking hated. No, I didn't hate Sweeney Todd. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't watch it.
It was just very dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shit. That's it. Hopefully, I get to go and see you in Florida, bro. Might just plan a trip sometime out there.
He said he's coming over here.
Yeah.
So you can join us live, Mark.
I was actually gonna tell you to join us that night. But I knew you were here with Crystal, and I knew you were probably visiting friends. But yeah.
So anything else you want to say about the movie?
Nope, just one of my favorite freaking movies.
I gave it a 7.8.
Decent for your rating.
And the biggest reason why is because I don't know a perfect time to watch this movie. Like, Sweeney Todd, I'll never watch again. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But Guardians of the Galaxy is a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Back to the Future is a feel-good movie. Amores Perros es una... Así como cuando... traes ganas como de sentir algo, güey. Como algo apasionado, güey. Pones esa. Saw is just like one of those nights that you're just chilling at home and you're like, something interesting to watch. You watch Saw. Lord of War, it's a good movie. Like, it's an interesting movie. Prisoners, I hate Hugh Jackman, but it also at the end like lets you know, like, hey, there's a good morale to that story at the end, güey. You know, deja que la gente haga su trabajo, güey. Y ya está, no, güey. Like, I don't. Like, the moral of the story is, if you miss your dad.
You watch it when you want to get mad or for a podcast?
Yeah, pero. Like, y la falta de cómo explicárselo a personas para que la vean, güey.
Mm-hmm. And Mark, I agree. I watched this movie a lot. And I guess we were.
You know, I had never seen it. Like, it's the first run through of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I had ran into the character, the Pellman.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one.
Dude, it's in your top 5.
I know. Yeah, it's because I'm debating whether I want to give it like a 9.8 or a 10. I'll give it the 9.8. Just because I know it's not like my top. But this season like really has a lot of freaking movies that I really enjoyed, and I know we're getting to those. As far as Grimm's question, The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water, it really lost me because for me it was a little too lovey-dovey. It was too lovey-dovey for me. And I guess the merman was, or I want to consider him as Abe from Hellboy because he looks damn near identical to Abe from Hellboy, but it was just costume wise it was freaking awesome because like I said, he looks like Abe from Hellboy, but other than that, I felt like it took too long to get to the point. The Shape of Water. That's why I was like, lo que es. I mean, Hellboy I enjoy, but like I realized going into it, it's more of like a cartoon, or like a no, definitely Quick wouldn't like that. The Shape of Water, you might actually turn that bitch off. But or I don't know, give it a shot. I don't know, there's movies.
I love Hellboy.
Well,
I actually love Hellboy.
oh yeah, I enjoy the movie, and I enjoy. Well, I don't know if I've seen so many of the comics, but yeah. See, like Shape of Water wasn't worth it. Exactly, like it was like dry, too lovey-dovey, and it took too long to get to the point. Basic synopsis is military female, military worker.
Oh, I know the movie.
Oh, you know it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know the movie.
Yeah, but I was just like, nah, I'm good. But for me, yeah, give it that 9.8 for Pan's Labyrinth. Anything else you'd like to add to it?
Next week it's The Mist. It's on Netflix.
Yes, The Mist.
I think that's a scary movie.
It's something like Bird Box. The one with Sandra Bullock. You've never seen Bird Box.
Dude, I'm not much of a person that follows hype.
True.
So
The Bird Box was pretty cool. So, The Mist is like the baby brother to Bird Box. I feel Bird Box was a little bit better, but since it was a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, I think we had 20 something. We're almost there.
No, we're 19.
We're 8.
We're about halfway.
Yeah, almost.
Uh,
Yeah, it is an alien attack movie.
of The Mist?
Yeah,
Oh, I've never seen it,
you'll see it.
so I'll see it. So closing out movies, the next 3 movies are The Mist, Scary Movie, and Poltergeist, and then the closing out movies are Queen of the Damned, The Crow, Spotlight, V for Vendetta, Interview with the Vampire, Crimen del Padre Amaro, The Man from Nowhere, and Goodfellas.
Do 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 do.
Those are the last ones. That's a pretty tight closing. I've never seen The Mist, Scary Movie, or Poltergeist, or Queen of the Damned.
Queen of the Damned, freaking awesome. But I'm a big vampire buff. Which other one?
Poltergeist, Scary Movie, and The Mist. I've never seen.
Scary Movie is just funny.
It's a rough season closing. Why?
Yeah, Scary Movie 2 would have been awesome.
They didn't put it.
Yeah, I know. Poltergeist, that movie, my mom told me it gave her nightmares for months. And it is I've only seen the first one. I've never seen the second one. But it was pretty cool. And you said which one? The Goodfellas? Goodfellas, I'm surprised you haven't seen Goodfellas. On your own free time, I would say, just because I can tell you're not a very big mafia sort of buff, I would recommend another one is that's something like that is A Bronx Tale. That's a very good movie.
My favorite mafia type gangster movie like that is Carlitos Way.
Carlitos Way. Carlitos Way is a very good one. Casino, yeah, dude. You can go on forever, or not forever, but there's a lot, and I think I want to say Goodfellas is a Scorsese movie. Martin Scorsese. I can't say it. Oh, I don't know how old my mom was. And yes, The Crow, fool. Look, I love that movie so much. I literally got a tattoo of it. So yeah. That's how much I enjoy it.
So next week it's The Mist, then Scary Movie, and then usually 5 weeks, 4 weeks prior, or actually for the finale, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. We have to figure out for the finale what we're gonna do. If we're gonna draw out movies, then we'll start requesting movies that week or the week
Yep.
prior. Other than that, anything else?
Nothing. Just a quick reminder. Appreciate you for all the love, the time that you guys invested in us. Thank you very much for being active on the chats. Once again, Happy New Year, guys. Let's make it the best year yet. If possible. If not, fuck it. Síganle chingando. Échenle para adelante. Nunca miren para atrás.
That's right.
All right.
De mi parte para ustedes, no estoy jugando. On my behalf, guys, just thank you so much. Let's see what 2023 has for us. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully we're able to continue with the show. We're already thinking about season 3 and we haven't even fucking finished season 2.
That's how much we enjoy being and spending
Guys,
money
you have
here
no
with you
idea how
guys.
much I'm enjoying this, honestly. And it's a lot. A lot has to do with you guys. Even though we're a small ass community, like it really means a lot to me. The time, or to us, the time that you guys invest with us. So thank you guys so much. Other than that, guys, before we get too emotional, se cuidan, se lavan, se tallan. Si les gustó, qué bueno. Y si no, cállense el hocico. Nos damos, Rosa.
Deuce.